For clicking on Wayne.com for another edition of Inside the Zone. 3 weeks, 8 games left in the Komets season. We're here with Blake Sebring of the News Sentinel. And Blake, about as interesting a week as we've seen in Komets hockey.
And what's really been an interesting season, too. I mean, there hasn't been a dull moment, I don't think, ever.
Interesting is an umbrella statement for weird, wacky. Who knew that was going to happen? I didn't think that was possible. Let's start off with the goaltending situation, because that's really the hot button topic.
How much time we got?
Well, the internet, we have infinite amount of time, but we're trying to do it in 10 to 15 minutes. The goaltending situation, it's like day to day with this team.
It's like hour to hour.
That's true. Obviously, Makarov getting called up when he did, it was somewhat unexpected, but he was playing relatively well. And then Meisner on Wednesday night, a scary moment. What's the situation with him? We'll talk about the new guys in just a minute, but what's the situation with Meisner and Makarov at this point?
Well, right now, we're still a mystery. They're still waiting to see what's going to happen with Meisner, if he's going to be able to come back. He's been cleared by the cardiologist and the neurologist. That he's got to convince Gary Graham he's ready. And he's going to be stable, and he's going to be ready to play the whole game, and he's going to handle the pressure, and he's going to be able to support his teammates and all that. I mean, there's a lot into it.
Gary mentioned recently that it wasn't necessarily all physical, that there was a mental side to going out there and knowing in your mind that you're 100%, that you're ready to go, that you're in the right mental frame of mind.
Well, and let's face it, you go through something like that, and you're going to be gun shy. I mean, you're going to have questions in the back of your head, too. I mean, that's completely normal. It's not everybody who goes out and plays in front of 8,000 people who are focusing on you, I mean, so that'll be part of it. There have been some instances of previous type of things like this with Ben, too, and he's trying to get it all figured out and get it under control. So
he's a little bit of a mystery. Makarov's a little bit of a mystery. We're not sure when, if he's coming back down. One guy we didn't know a whole lot about until Friday night, and maybe we don't know that much about him still, Matt Grogan. Here's the guy. They signed Matt Grogan and Kevin Murdoch, rookies, just fresh out of college. But Grogan specifically because Murdoch has been let go today.
Let's talk about Larkin, too.
That's true.
Larkin drives across the country from New Jersey, where he hasn't been on ice in a month and he hasn't played since December. And then he's your backup goalie when Ben goes down, and he comes in and does a capable job.
It was 8 of 10, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Guys played hard behind him.
They really did, 50 to 20 in shots. And the guys, it's kind of like the Joe Franke want-to-know Joe moment, where the guys played so hard in front of him that they really limited the opportunities against him. And it's like maybe that helped, prove to them how good they can be in certain aspects too. And I thought they had been playing better anyway.
Well, on Friday, Grogan comes in. He gets the start. As we talked off camera, he had some cramps in the third period, so he didn't finish the game, but played well enough and helped the Komets get the win. And then actually played pretty well over the weekend. Maybe ran out of steam a little bit, considering he hadn't skated in like 7 to 10 days.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, since his college season has ended. So, what are we getting in this guy? Because a lot of hopes are really riding on Matt Grogan at this point, and it's an interesting situation for a young guy to come into, considering where the playoff race is at this point.
Well, it's kind of neat, too, because the opponents don't know either. I mean, they don't have a book on this kid. So that could play into your advantage, where they've got a book on Makarov and they've got a book on Meisner already, too. And I think Matt would say that there were a couple goals in the third yesterday he would love to have another chance at. The game-winning goal, I know he'd like to have a chance at. It was just a long wrist shot that he just missed, But their fatigue had to be a factor too. It looked like the whole team was tired, and I'm not excusing that because Kalamazoo had the same schedule and they were tired, but they had a little bit more left at the end than the Komets did, and that was the difference.
Overall, though, how would you rate Grogan's first weekend with this team? Because, like I said, he was pretty adverse situation to pull a guy essentially, out of his bed and into the Komets locker room. More or less.
Yeah, and he had played for Gary Graham before in juniors, but nobody else knew anything about him. Larkin knew something about him because he had played with Gary and also in that juniors team. He did a really good job. I was impressed with his rebound control. He used his blocker really well to push the puck out, not only his pads. He did a really good job. His glove hand was better than we've seen this year out of the goalies so far. He was very confident in his glove hand. He did a good job of controlling the pace of play. There was really only a couple times where he got really bombarded, and he didn't seem to get rattled during that, which was really interesting. He seemed to maintain the same demeanor, the same calm, no matter what else was going on around him, and that's a really big key for a goaltender, which is something that's really been needed here.
Bottom line, 3 weeks, 8 games remaining. Is Grogan a guy that can take you to the playoffs?
The players seem to think so. I was impressed with their reactions to Matt and their belief in him. And they love the way the guy just battles. I mean, he just keeps going. You know, I mean, he doesn't get down. He doesn't put his head down after a bad goal. He just keeps playing. And they like that a lot about him.
Going forward, obviously goaltending is key in this stretch. They're going to face the best really in the league this weekend in a
the MVP
2-game
on
series.
my vote. You know.
Right. Friday, Saturday, you're going down to South Carolina. You're facing Jokaitis in goal. What do you see as being a big key this week? Because the Komets recently have really outshot opponents, especially this past week, have made it a point to outshoot opponents.
Well, and yesterday, even in the third period, they hit 3 posts. You know, and the problem for the Komets is always when they get cute. Always, 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 it's when they get cute. I mean, they could play absolutely fantastic, outshoot a team 50-20, and lose because they get cute. You know, you just want to see them one time. You know, the first 2 periods on Sunday, it's like, oh my gosh, where have you guys been all year? You're dominating. You're turning the puck over. You're forechecking like crazy. You're creating tons of offensive chances, and it's just Joel Martin standing on his ear to stop him, and he still gave up 3 because there's nothing he could have done, and it's like, but then it stopped. And it's like, why do you guys always try to get cute? Why do you overpass? It's like you guys need to go for rebound goals rather than perfect, you know, top shelf pretty goals. You know, you're not good at that. We should know that by now. You know, after 70 or 64 games, I think we've got a pretty good handle on that part of it.
But I will say, if you want to talk about top shelf pretty goals, Mike Embach is your man.
Yeah, well, so is Shaffy in the alumni game.
Well, but Embach Wednesday, that was pretty hockey.
Yeah, he's on fire right now.
He is great.
He is just going nuts. I mean, he's doing everything. He's forechecking, and he and Sidlowski and Clark, that was so much fun to watch those guys play together because it's like, it just clicked. And it's like, boom, okay, we'll leave those guys alone the rest of the year. Nobody messes with them. Nobody, you know, stay healthy, you know, and you're going to be fine because they're good for a goal or 2 a game right now. And they're just all over the place, and nobody knows what to do with them because they can't get the puck back from them.
Yeah, going forward in this final stretch, I say final stretch, the last 3 weeks of the regular season, Komets in a pretty good spot. They're in 8th, 71 points, but they're only 1 point behind Wheeling, only 4 points behind Cincinnati, 5 points, my math is bad, behind Cincinnati for 6th place. Florida's in there at 9th, but they have played 1 less game than the Komets at 69 points. Where do you see this playing out? And can the Komets conceivably make a run to get the 6th seed?
Sure they could. They've got a bunch of games, I think with 3 games left with Toledo. And Toledo's
that's good.
Giving up, you know, they're rolling over, rub my belly right now. And the Komets, you know, they got to win those 3 games. They can't, like the 2-1 game last week, you know, they won. It's like, you got to stomp them. You got to put them away. You know, they had 50 shots in that game too.
But Toledo's also playing with young, hungry guys trying to show what they. I know that they're not as
but
talented.
It's like a college team essentially.
Right.
And you know, the Komets, if you're a pro team, if you're a playoff team, that's the team you put away. Period. It's nothing personal. It's just being a professional. You put them away early and get it over with. You know, the Komets haven't had any easy games in like 2 months. Every game has been 1 goal or 1 goal in an empty netter, or you know, or you're down 2 with 4 minutes left. You know, it's like they need a few easy games here maybe to get some confidence and get it rolling.
Or William Lacasse is connecting in a shootout to get you a nice.
That was pretty.
To get 2 points. Final question, what are you looking forward to most about this week? Because it's the last true, real dig in the ditches type road trip for the Komets this season.
I want to see, they've been great on the road all year. I want to see how Grogan plays. I want to see if they finally get it through their head as Gary keeps pounding on it with a chisel. You know, it's like he's hit him with the 2x4. It's time to put the nails in the 2x4. Shoot the puck. You know, the power plays look better too since Southorn came back. He's pretty good at dancing across the top of the blue line, walking it out there so he's in the middle for more straight on shots, which opens up the wings, which is where Mbach has been getting a lot of points, you know. So that's getting a little better. So I think they played pretty well of late. They just got all this drama. You know, it's like we've talked about at the beginning, there's so much drama, and they just need to settle down and just have normal. And then see what happens, you know, because you get Jason Dale back probably soon, and you're going to get Matt Carter back soon. Those are two great players to add in there somewhere.
Right.
You know? And then if Dean Ouellette can come back, which is not out of the realm of possibility, holy crap, you got a lot of good forwards. Now, forwards usually shoot the puck and don't overpass, so we'll see.
All right. As the puck turns, we'll continue on Monday of next week, where we'll be talking Comet.
You were thinking about that for 10, 20 seconds.
I was. That's why I get paid the medium to low dollars. He's Blake Searing. I'm Glenn Marini, and we'll see you next Monday.